$1,607.19. That's how much my first YouTube paycheck was. There. If that's all you wanted, if that's what you came for, I'm not going to hold you. Carry on and I'll holler at you later. But if you'd like to hear more about how I made that money, my personal experience with the whole monetization process, and how it's still going today, let's get to it. Okay, good. Now that the robots have left the room, first let me get rid of this because it's not even a paycheck. Quite often, people use this in their how much YouTube paid me videos, but it's really just a PIN number to verify your account that you will actually be getting paid through. Anyways, I started making YouTube content on May 15th of this year, 2023. Now that's a little more than 4 months ago today. I had a personal goal of getting monetized in 6 months. I told myself that if I could get that 1,000 subs, yada, 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 you know the spiel. If I could hit those metrics, then there must be a method to this madness and I should probably keep going, right? Now, before ever posting a video, I had been researching like a ton on how to grow and succeed on YouTube. I watched a lot of content from channels like Think Media and vidIQ, just to name a few. And if you're thinking about getting into this, they for sure can help you. Now, about a month into actually posting regularly, which everyone should do if you're trying to be a content creator, YouTube had actually announced that they were going to be reducing the requirements needed to gain access to some of those monetization features, right? They were taking the subscribers down from 1,000 to 500 and the watch time hours from 4,000 to 3,000. Now, this had a lot of us new creators excited, but once we found out that that doesn't include ad revenue, it's kind of like, that's the one we all really care about, right? And that's not to say that we don't care about the other ways to make money on YouTube as well, but I think most of us starting out are looking at obtaining access to ad revenue as like that first metric of success. Now, whether that's actually the case may just be a topic for another video, so I digress. All of my content up until today has been reaction content. I do have other interests, however, and other goals for this channel, such as like tech reviews, comedy skits. I want to start a podcast as well. You know, I guess this video would technically fall under like a vlog. I personally don't think you should even do vlogs unless you have somewhat of like a interesting life. So I haven't done any up until now because nobody wants to just watch me like do laundry or my regular day-to-day stuff. But I'm not sure if this can count as a blog or vlog. I'm not sure. But reactions, honestly, were the easiest one on the list to get started with. So that's what I did. Now, by the time I had met that first set of requirements, the new standard to apply for the YouTube Partner Program, I was actually tracking to hit the bigger standards, the real standards, by the very next day. See, I had a video that was starting to do very well by comparison to all of my previous videos. So I had subscribers like pouring in quickly while watch time hours was lagging slightly behind. At around 32,000 views on that video, I had gained enough subscribers going from 270 before I posted it to over 1,200 just 2 days later. And for context, that was a reaction video to a song called Try That in a Small Town by Jason Aldean, by the way. That's my first video to like really take off and push me towards monetization. Now, at that point, I was only waiting on watch time to update in the system because it seemed to be like on a 24-hour delay from what the real-time metrics were showing you and what the actual progress bar for applying for monetization showed. So it was a little bit of a lag, but I was finally able to apply for monetization on July 25th. And if you're quick at math, then you know that's 69 days from when I started. And those 69 days fell well short of my 6-month goal. Now that really encouraged me to keep going, right? I was then feeling very enthusiastic about the future. In that moment, I realized it's actually true that one video can take your channel from being virtually unknown to being eligible to be monetized in a very short time. Because that video went from 0 to 40,000 in like 2 days. So I'm applying now. And step one is just some basic paperwork crap, a simple application, blah, blah, blah. Please electronically sign here. Step two, though, was a little bit more of a pain. You have to create an account separate from YouTube, but also owned by Google so that YouTube can pay you through Google. This account called an AdSense account was easy to set up as well. You know, basic info, couple clicks, blah, blah, blah. Here's all my private information. Boom, done. After you get that done, the progress bar will tell you then it should only take 1 or 2 days to process while it's tying these two accounts together. Cool? Not cool, because for me, it took quite a bit longer. Around day 4 after applying, my AdSense account has still not yet been approved, and I'm starting to get nervous, right? And during this time, you cannot contact any type of support team for the AdSense account. And your YouTube account is technically separate from the AdSense account. So even once I found a way to contact the YouTube people, which I shouldn't have been able to, they said the only option was to wait. And that contact, even once I did do it, it was around day 8 after applying, right? So I had been 8 days deep waiting for a response, waiting for this account to get tied together before I was ever to reach out to somebody. And they said, yeah, you still gotta wait. Now let's backtrack a few steps, because I skipped over what a main source of frustration was for me. I guess in hindsight, though, it was still kind of a good problem to have. So at day 2 of waiting, one of my other videos that was not the one that rapidly pushed me to monetization, not the Jason Aldean reaction, but actually one I did before that, it was now starting to go crazy by my channel standards, right? So it jumped 40,000 views in those 4 days. By day 4, it jumped 40,000 views after I applied. And at this time, I'm still waiting to be accepted. So even though it has surpassed my last previous best video, sadly, none of that counted towards my pockets. And let's be honest, right? While I don't think anyone should do this solely for the purpose of making money, even though you can, if that's your, their thing, go ahead. I believe there should be some sort of joy and passion into it. I believe if you don't, that's just a setup for disappointment, right? You should enjoy doing it and know that it's possible, and it's definitely possible, to get to the point of making money for the time and effort you put in. But also that it's very much possible that getting there could take years before that happens, right? And how long it takes is dependent on a multitude of variables that we can go over. But it does feel great to be rewarded for the time and work you put into this. And it will be a lot of time and work that you put into this if you're serious, even with the reaction content. So that video got a total of 70,000 views while I was waiting for approval. I know it sounds brutal, right? And on day 8, the same day that I finally got in touch with YouTube, which I did give them a little piece of my mind, I wasn't very nice. I was already seeing, though, by day 8 that another video that I had dropped on day 5 that was similar to the one that was taken off. Because, if something catches, right, you want to kind of lean into it. You kind of want to make sure to see if you can recapture that magic again, right? When something pops, you're naturally just going to want to do that. So that's what I was trying to do. And I was hoping that I'd be approved for monetization shortly after, right? And both actually happened. It started to take off just like the one before it did. And I got approved on day 10, which was 2 days after I finally contacted them that was on August 4th, was when I finally got approved, right? It felt so relieving. By then, the new video had gotten around 10,000 views and was about to skyrocket. I quickly turned on ads on all of my eligible videos, The new one that I had just dropped was already on a faster pace than the previous one that had just taken off. The first one, it took like 2 weeks before I started to see the curve go crazy, while this one only took a few days before the curve started to go crazy. But then there was another issue. Now, this may be more prevalent in reaction content. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I am sure that it has some crossover value to other niches. You follow me on this. I always knew that music videos, those types of reactions would likely be copywritten for the artist and not eligible to be monetized. So I wasn't surprised to see that little red dollar sign you get on those videos that say you cannot monetize it. But there was a more mysterious yellow dollar sign that did catch me off guard. And of course, there was a green one that says good to go. But this yellow one signifies limited monetization based on the content not being suitable for most advertisers. And this would reappear for me numerous times, right? So basically the gist of it is you can only make money on a yellow flag video from users who watch your content that also subscribe to YouTube Premium. And that's because they don't watch ads, right? So you get a portion of their subscription fee when they watch your videos. And the pay rate for those views, to be honest, is garbage, okay? It's not nothing, but it's bad. We'll just leave it at that. So my two most popular videos that were currently getting tens of thousands of views, and this is a daily, tens of thousands of views a day, both receive yellow dollar signs on them. And they don't tell you why, like exactly why. There's actually like an automated algorithm that scans most content and grades its eligibility for monetization against a list of advertiser friendly guidelines that presumably one of your videos is broken if it indeed does get flagged yellow. But they don't tell you which one. And these guidelines are kind of basic. You can look at them. Cursing is one of the serious ones, anything that's shocking content. Uh, Obviously, if it's copywritten, you can't monetize that. But you are fortunately able to appeal the decision and request a manual review by a human, right? Which I did on both of those. And thankfully, they were both then approved and given the full green light for monetization. But only after 2 days' time, at which time I counted about 170,000 views had been racked up. And like I said, it took off. So be wary of this yellow dollar sign, right? That means there's something wrong with your video. And if you can see it before you go public with the video, you might be able to fix that and make sure that you get monetized. But I, at this time, was really torn. I was really torn about how to feel because, on one hand, I had two videos essentially going viral in less than 3 months, right? Mama, I made it. But on the other hand, if that wave had somehow abruptly stopped or slowed to a trickle right after that, I hadn't really made anything, especially not any money off of them. So it was like encouraging, but very disheartening at the same time. Now, I am happy to report that they both did keep going up, one way more so than the other. But ultimately, these two videos are what got me to most of that $1,600-ish that I made on my first YouTube paycheck. Now, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever be able to recreate those types of numbers again. I do hope so. I mean, I hope for even more, honestly. But I'm definitely very optimistic about the future after being able to smash my initial goals and get a little taste of some of that viral money, right? Uh, I made this channel with the vision of proving that even us average folks can do this successfully. I do consider myself to be an average guy. I know my story isn't very typical as far as how quickly I got monetized, how quickly I was able to get a somewhat viral video. However, I have learned in doing this since then and just overall. If you really want to do this, if you do the research on how to grow and apply what you've learned in your own way, if you stay consistent in trying to make your next video better than the last, right? I know I sound like Mr. Beast right now, but if you stay consistent in trying to make your next video better than the last, you will find success, man. It's just going to be on your own time. It's not a race, it's a marathon, right? So just make sure that you find the you in every video. We want to find the you in every video. And make sure you apply that. And I want to thank you guys for watching this. If you made it this far in the video, you are amazing. If you're a creator and you're still out there grinding to get monetization or get that first YouTube paycheck to pass that threshold, which is $100, by the way, you got to pass $100 before they pay you anything. If you're out there, you're doing that, leave me a little note in the comments on how your journey's going so far, what obstacles you may have been running into. Maybe I can help you out, right? And as always, till next time, one love.